Vedagadadara, Srivasadi, Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Hare. So we stopped in the 9th chapter by which sloka? 9.34. What did Krishna say? The 5 things we are supposed to do. The 4 things. Always think of Krishna. Then
Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru.
Mame Vaishyasi Yuktaivam Atmanam. So the 5 things Krishna is saying in the 9th chapter is Manmana Bhava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru. Manmana, always think of Krishna by chanting his holy name. Madbhakto, become his devotee. And then Madhyaji, worship Krishna and pay obeisances. Mam Namaskuru. Then if we do this, we'll definitely go back to Krishna. So this is the most confidential knowledge we saw, Raja Vidya, Raja Guhyam. Okay, now today we'll see the opulences of the Lord. So Krishna is actually telling Arjuna and all of us his opulences. He himself is describing the opulences. Okay, so this is like a theory part for Vishwarupa. And theoretically, Krishna is going to say to Arjuna, like what is his opulence, or the vibhudis. Vibhudis means, because Krishna is called Bhagavan, right? Why is he called Bhagavan?
Because he has got 6 opulences.
Yeah, what are they?
All knowledge, all strength, all
Yes.
fame, all beauty, and all non-attachment.
Yeah, so all this, like all beauty, all knowledge, all strength, all fame, all that. Okay, so that's why Krishna is called Bhagavan. Krishna is Bhagavan Swayam. Okay, Krishna is Swayam Bhagavan. And his vibhudis, we'll see how this is nothing actually in this chapter. Krishna himself says this is just a spark of his vibhudis. There is still more, but it's infinitive. You can't even count the opulences of the Lord. But Krishna is just mentioning the main opulences. So the first 7 slokas is to understand how Krishna is mindful and he's the source of all. Then 8 to 11 is the pure bhakti. Does anyone know what is this slokas known as? 10.8, 9, 10 and 11.
Chatushloki.
Yeah, Chatushloki.
Bhagavad Gita.
So they are called the Chatushloki of Bhagavad Gita. That means the essence. If you know these 4 slokas, you know the whole Bhagavad Gita. And when I was teaching kids, even some kids memorize these 4 slokas by heart. Very important. And Arjuna accepts Krishna's supreme position. We'll see in the 12 to 18 slokas. So, yeah. So the first sloka, Krishna reveals more wonderful knowledge about his opulences. Shri Bhagavan Vaja, Uya Eva Mahabhavo, Shunu Me Paramam Vaja, Yatte Aham Priyamanaya, Vakshyami Hidakamaya. The Supreme Personality of God said, listen again, O mighty Arjuna, because you are my dear friend, for your benefit, I shall speak to you further, giving knowledge that is better than what I have already explained, because he's his friend. So in the first chapter, what are the 5 reasons why Krishna is telling this knowledge to Arjuna? One is, Arjuna is the
Devotee of Krishna.
devotee of the Lord. Then
Completely surrendered to the Lord.
surrendered, okay.
He is kind-hearted.
Kind and soft-hearted, yes, soft and kind-hearted.
Non-envious.
Non-envious, very good. And he's a friend. Bhaktosi Sakha Cheti. So he's a friend of Krishna. Second is he's a devotee. He's non-envious. He's kind and soft-hearted and completely surrendered. So a meaning of Bhagavan is explained here. That one who have full in 6 opulences. Aishwaryasa, Viryasa, Yashasya, Jnana, Vairagya. So all this, strength, wealth, beauty, fame, knowledge, realization, all, okay? All strength, all wealth, all beauty, everything, all in all. So that is Bhagavan. And Krishna gives more confidential knowledge of his specific opulences in this chapter. We'll see. Because in 7th chapter, we already saw Krishna's different energies. 9th chapter, he again tells about his energies and also established devotion in firm conviction. So we should hear about the Lord. That is important. So Prabhupada writes, the more one hears about the Lord, more one become fixed in devotional service. So one should always hear. Shrinvata Swakata Krishna. Always keep hearing and hearing and hearing. Pipata Bhagavata Rasamale. You have to drink, keep drinking with your ears. And discourses of such topics of the Lord can take place only among devotees who are anxious to be in Krishna conscious. Otherwise, it cannot take. So, the Lord clearly tells Arjuna that because Arjuna is very dear to him, for his benefit, such discourses are taking place. So, Krishna is saying that he should hear about his opulences first. Then only when he shows the Vishwarupa can we actually believe or we understand what this Vishwarupa is about. So, before that, Krishna is giving a trailer in this 10.2, like what all his opulences are. And no one knows Krishna because of the mysterious origin. Name vitu suragana bhavamma nama harshaya aham adirhi devana maharshinam cha sarvashaha. Neither the hosts of demigods nor the great sages nor my original opulences, for in every respect I am the source of the demigods and sages. Aham adirhi devana. Krishna is saying that he is the source of all the demigods. I think we discussed about demigod worship last class, that if you worship the demigod, you go to their planet. And what is the use? Again, coming back. So here Krishna says, Aham Adirhi Devana, that he is the cause or origin of all the Devadas, Devi Devadas. So this he'll show it in his Vishwarupa. In Vishwarupa, you can see Lord Shiva, Lord Ganesha, everyone's head in the Vishwarupa. That means all the demigods have come from Krishna. Narayana, Rudra, Jayade, Narayana, all like that. Everyone has come from Narayana. So Krishna is known as Govinda, the supreme head, and he has an eternal blissful spiritual body. And he is the origin of all. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradar Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. He is the cause of all cause. And he is the origin of all. He has no other origin. He is the prime cause. So in Gajendra Stuti also, Srimad Bhagavatam, it comes in the 8th canto, 3rd chapter. Gajendra, when he cries and offers the lotus flower to Krishna, he says, Namo Namaste Akhila Karanaya Nishkaranaya Budakaranaya Sarvagamanmaya Mahanavaya Namo Apavargaya Parayanaya. So Namo Namaste Akhila Karanaya. Oh Krishna, Akhila Karanaya, you are the cause of all cause. Okay, Akhila Karanaya. Nishkaranaya, but you don't have a cause. And Albudha Karanaya. So that's why you are a wonderful cause. So that means Sarva Karana Karana. Krishna is the cause of all cause. And also Gajendra, pure devotee, is saying that Krishna is wonderful cause because Krishna doesn't have any cause. In the sense, the Lord appears in his own will. Not like us. We, by karma, we are forced to be born. We are pushed by the material nature to be born. But Krishna descends in his own sweet will. He comes and goes. So there is no cause. Even though it looks like Devaki and Vasudeva, Yashoda, and the Baba are the parents of Krishna, but they are not. Krishna is the parents of everyone. Krishna says, Aham Bija Pratapita. But just for a pastime purpose, he comes in that Valsalya Rasa. So Krishna is the cause of all cause, everything that's happening. Not even the demigods or liberate sages can know Krishna fully because he's the origin of everyone and everything, including even the demigods. So sometimes some people say, I know Putana's story, I know that story, this, I know everything about Krishna. That person is wrong because nobody can know everything about Krishna because Krishna is unlimited. Okay, so the criteria or qualification to understand Krishna is that scholarship is not a qualification. We should be having devotion. Even the demigods and great sages cannot understand Krishna, his name or his personality. What to speak of scholars? No one can understand why the Supreme Lord comes to the planet as an ordinary human being and executes such wonderful, uncommon activities. So one can keep on speculating with the imperfect senses, and one may reach the opposite conclusion of impersonalism. Or they can imagine, but that will not help us to understand Krishna. We can understand Krishna only by the mercy of Krishna and his devotees, or through the bona fide books or studying the words of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, through scriptures, Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. Through Guru, we can understand Krishna. Through Sadhus or pure devotees, and through Shastra, we can understand. Okay, by mercy of Krishna and his devotees means like pure devotees like Srila Prabhupada, we will be able to understand Krishna. Yo mamacham anadimcha veti loka maheshwaram asammoda samartyeshu sarvapade pramuchyate. So again, the Lord is saying that he who knows Krishna as the unborn, as beginless, as the supreme Lord of the world, he only undiluted among men is free from all sins. Okay, so we should know Krishna in truth. Okay, Krishna is unborn. What do you mean by that? Unborn. What is another name of Krishna because he is unborn?
Aja.
Aja. Aja, he is unborn. Okay, then how is he unborn? It is said Krishna is born as well as unborn. Can somebody explain this? Okay, here it is said unborn means Aja. Okay. Why is it said Krishna is born as well as unborn? It's easy. Just now I explained.
Because Krishna is ever existing, just like the sun appears to be born in different
Yes.
places. So Krishna is appearing in different planets, performing pastimes. So that is how he's unborn. At the same
Yes.
time, he appeared at a different at one particular place. So it's like
Okay, like
he's born.
as Mataji says, the sun, yes. We don't say the sun died. The sun sets and arises. Sun is always there. Yes, Mamta Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, I was going to say, I was going
Okay.
to say the same thing because we don't see the sun, but sun is always there. So Krishna is always there. Just we see, we don't see him. That's all.
So unborn in the sense, yes, Krishna descends or he doesn't, is not born like us, not born like a material person. So he ascends, what is that, avatar or avatari, he descends from the spiritual world and then, okay, he does his pastimes. And born in the sense, for the pastime purpose, he acts as if he is born to the parents of like Devaki and Vasudeva. So in that way, as a small child, he comes out. So in that way, he's born, but he's really unborn because he's Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. He's there from the beginning. If there is a building and an engineer have built that building, can he say the engineer did not exist before the building? No, he existed. Similarly, the creation happened, and who did the creation? There is a creator. So the creator was there before the creation. That means Krishna was there before creation. Yes, Siddharth.
If this Ajonityam, Ajonityah Saswato Ayam Purana, if it is valid for soul, then it has to be valid for the super soul also.
Yes, very good. So Prabhupada says, if us, the conditioned soul, can come to this material world, why can't Krishna come to the material world? He can also come. And as Prabhu said, if the soul can have these qualities of unborn, Ajo Nityam Shashwadam Purano, Nahanyadi Hanyamani Sharire. So if a soul is not born or it's eternal, who is the part and parcel of the Lord, who's just a spark of the Lord is being the supreme creator, the supreme whole, Purnam, Purnamada, Purnamidam. So why can't he be eternal or Sachidananda? So he is also unborn in that way. So that it's difficult to understand for a non-devotee when we say Krishna is both born and unborn. But for a devotee, it's easy to understand. And Krishna is beginless, Anadi, Adir Govinda, beginless. You can't say when Krishna was there. He's there from that time immemorial, like he's there. So from before the creation. So Supreme Lord of all the world. He's a supreme proprietor. So Krishna is described as undiluted among men. Those who can understand Krishna in these three features, that is, he's unborn, Aja, he's beginless, Anadi, and is the supreme proprietor. So Manishyanam Sahasreshu Kashit Yadari Siddhaye Yadam Abhisiddhanam Kashit Mam Vedi Tattvada. So Krishna says this, that one who understands Krishna is very, very rare. Manishyanam Sahasreshu, 1,000 Manishya men, only few can understand Krishna. And out of million, one may endeavor, and out of many, only one will succeed to know about Krishna. So one who knows Krishna is free from all the sin. Living entity takes birth and die due to material attachment. Thus, they are changing bodies under external energy. Lord comes to the material world as the self-same or unborn. He comes by his internal potency. His body is unchanged. So Krishna, understanding Krishna as Veti Loka Maheshwaram is the Supreme Lord. He's the Lord of all the three worlds. And Krishna was existing before creation. And it is different from his creation. The demigods were created and Krishna was not created. Thus, Krishna is different even from the great demigods, Brahma and Lord Shiva. Only activities are done under the direction of Krishna are auspicious. Everything else is inauspicious. So anything done under the direction of Krishna is transcendental. So that's why when Arjuna was to ask to kill the people in the battlefield, the Kauravas, even that is auspicious. Even though it's killing, still it's auspicious because it's done under Krishna's order. So it is a conception that there is auspicious things in the material world, but everything is inauspicious. Anything related to Krishna is only auspicious because it is eternal. Anything else in this material world is temporary. Okay, now it's very, okay, now we'll see Krishna as the origin of all the qualities. Okay, in the 4 to 5 slokas. Actually, this chapter is very easy to understand because there is no much explanation later on as it comes. Krishna says, Nakshatranam Aham Shashi, out of all the stars, he is the moon. Or Yajnanam Japa Yajnosmi, he says out of Japa, he is the Yajna, he is Japa. So it is very easy, just no need of any explanation, just to understand that among this, Krishna is this. Among mountains, Krishna is Himalayas. Among this, he is like this. So it's just explaining and going. So there are different qualities. They can be good and bad. It's all created by Krishna. Buddhir jnanam asammoha kshama satyam dama shamaha sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhayam eva cha ahimsa samadha tushti tapodana yasho yashaha bhavanti bhavabhutana matta eva pitatpitaha. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt, delusion, forgiveness, truthfulness, control of senses, control of mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by Krishna. So all these qualities are made by the Lord. And where does Krishna manifest? Throughout the universe and the society. And this is all created by the Lord. Actually, the three modes of material nature is everything created by the Lord. So Krishna creates for those who want to advance in Krishna consciousness. But the person has to develop from within by devotional service, but automatically develops all good qualities. So Krishna has made this intelligence, the power to analyze things, and knowledge, knowing the distinction between matter and spirit. Actually, real knowledge means what? Spiritual knowledge. Material knowledge is temporary. Until this body is there, that knowledge is there. But after that, it's gone. And freedom from doubt and delusion can be achieved when one acts without hesitation and understanding the transcendental philosophy. Nothing should be accepted blindly. So Prabhupada says, if somebody challenges Prabhupada, Prabhupada says, you don't follow Krishna consciousness blindly. No, you should know, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Okay, I'm taking Ekadashi. What is the speciality of taking Ekadashi? Okay, I'm chanting 16 months. Why am I doing it? Okay, I'm eating sattvic food. I'm offering and taking it as prasadam. Why? Everything. Krishna consciousness is a science. We should know that. Don't follow anything blindly. And tolerance and forgiveness. That is excusing minor offense by others. One should be practiced by the insult and dishonor from others. Truthfulness, facts presented as they are, and for the benefit of others. So Krishna is the origin of all these qualities. All these qualities can be seen in pure devotees. It is said when somebody is pure devotee, all the qualities will get manifested in him. So control of the senses. Yes. The senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. Any analogy, you know? Senses are compared to the
Serpents.
Serpents. Okay, that means it has a poisonous teeth. And for a devotee, senses are like what?
Mataji, the snake whose teeth has been removed.
Yes, the poisonous teeth of the snake is removed. If the poisonous teeth of the snake is removed, then it's no more dangerous. The snake is not dangerous. So for a devotee, it's like that. Why? Because Rishikena Rishikesha Sevanam Bhakti Ruchate. Rishikesha, that is master of senses. Krishna is served by Rishikena, our senses. So since our senses are used to serve the master of sense, then what happens? We will not get trapped in Maya, or the senses becomes controlled. So this is called sense control. And senses should not be used for unnecessary enjoyment means. Like you're a government official and you got a government vehicle. Okay, you have a driver and a government vehicle. For your official purpose, like you have to go for inspection, this, because you're an official. And then on Sundays, you're not supposed to use that vehicle unless it's official. But you use that vehicle to go to park and beach and take your family somewhere for a trip and all that. Isn't that illegal? That's not actually allowed. So similarly, our senses, tongue, nose, ears, touch, all these senses have been given to serve the master of sense, Krishna. And instead of serving master of sense, Krishna, we are serving what? Maya. So isn't that again illegal? Isn't that not the right thing to do? When the senses are engaged in serving the master of sense, Krishna, that's the proper use of the senses. So till now, before coming to Krishna consciousness, we were using our senses in a wrong way. But now we know the senses have to be used in the right way. And that is called correct management of the senses or control of the senses. Who is that person who can control the senses called as?
Goswami Mataji.
Goswami. And the opposite is?
Godasa.
Godasa, who are like us. The conditioned souls are the Godas. because we've been controlled by the senses. Like my our tongue, someone suddenly says, "Oh, let me go to a restaurant and have nice biryani." So that's my senses is controlling me, so I'll go. But if it's a Goswami, they know, they control their senses. They're like, no, you have to eat only Krishna Prasada. So you go and eat Krishna Prasad. So that is a Goswami. Prabhupada says Goswami is somebody who actually had control of all their senses. But Godasa is somebody who's a servant of the senses. But we are now practicing, right? We are practicing to become Krishna conscious, to control our senses. Even Ekadashi is controlling the senses. You have this urge to eat rice and chapati and so many things on Ekadashi, but then you're controlling, and you're... Initially, it might be difficult to take Ekadashi, but as it comes, as you advance, then Ekadashi has just become part of your life. It's fine. You can even go Nirjal, no problem. So that it comes, but that will take some time. The purification of the senses, that paratpena nirmalam, it has to happen. But then if you should not misuse the thinking power, to spend one's time pondering over money, power of thought should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings and to present authoritatively. Power of thought should be developed in the association with Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra. This is what I said. Anything you do, you should have these three things: Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. To believe something, to follow something, these three should be there. So happiness and distress, always considering relation of what is favorable and unfavorable to Krishna consciousness. Sukham, bhava, that is birth. For soul, there is no birth or death. Fearlessness, bhayam, dividiva, abhiniveshatha. So fear is caused due to absorption of illusionary energy. It is said a person in the dream might see a tiger. Okay, that's in the dream. And he might get scared and wake up and will be fully sweating and all that. But the person who was not sleeping, who's awake next to him, he will not be feared of a tiger because there is no tiger. So similarly, the bhayam or the fear is for non-devotees because they are seeing the tiger. But for a devotee, Krishna has taken in charge. So they don't have to worry the future. Fearlessness is possible only in Krishna consciousness. So non-violence, because they know Avishya Rakshabe Krishna, Krishna will definitely protect. Or Rakshishyat iti Vishwaso. Any example from the Shastra to say that the devotees, they had this symptom of fearlessness? Who was that?
Prahlada Maharaj.
Prahlad Maharaj.
Very good.
Srila
Prahlad was not
Prabhupada.
at all fear. Huh?
Srila Prabhupada, Mataji.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada. Definitely he was fearless. Like when Prabhupada was preaching also, he was never fearless. He always preached in the right way, and also he was very strong because he was strongly convinced about the Krishna conscious philosophy. And he was never fearful because he always felt his Guru Maharaj is always with him. Okay, and Prahlad, yes, definitely, he was given poison and whatnot, so many things. He was not fearful at all. Anyone else? You know, Dhruva Maharaj, yes, Dhruva Maharaj went to the forest alone at the age of 5 months, 5 years in the forest for 6 months. He was fearless. That's why he was able to go. You've seen the Akasura pastime when Krishna, when the big snake comes and opens the mouth in the Vrindavan forest. Okay, like the Akasura. And then the Gopas, have you seen that picture? The Gopas happily going inside the mouth of the snake. And Prabhupada says, see them, they are so happy because they know Krishna will definitely protect them. So wherever they go, the Kaliya pastime, any pastime you take, they are really happy, the Gopas, because they know Rakshishyat iti Vishwa. So this is one of the aspects of surrender. There are 6 aspects of surrender. Anukulina Sankalpa, Pratikulisa Varjanam, Rakshishyat iti Vishwa. So the third one is have strong faith, convinced that whatever happens, Krishna will protect me. So that is that fearlessness is possible only in Krishna consciousness. Initially, it's difficult. Slowly, it's like that maturity should come. Like a small child will be fearful of even a small insect. But as we grow up, then we are not much scared of that insect because we have grown to maturity. So similarly, in Krishna consciousness, as you advance, that faith will come. Whatever happens, no matter what, Krishna will definitely protect me. So that fearlessness should come in all of us. That's possible only by our sadhana, by our experience in life, and by reading Shastras. Then we'll be fearless. And ahimsa, not do anything which will put others in misery or confusion or distress. And freedom from attachment or aversion, accept whatever is favorable to Krishna consciousness and reject what is unfavorable. Actually, all these qualities are seen in Srila Prabhupada. He was accepting, see, when his business failed, and he became bankrupt. He took it as a positive sign from Krishna, and he left the business and became full-time Krishna conscious devotee. Like after that, he could join the movement, or he was like completely renounced person. All this is because of Krishna's special mercy. And not be eager to gather more and more material things. Like it is said, Atyahara prayasasya prajalpanyam agrahajana sangasya laulyam cha shadvid bhakti vinashati. So when you come to nectar of instruction, it's Upadeshamrita, you have to memorize this verse. So this verse says, I think this is verse 2 of nectar of instruction. It says, the 6 things which will destroy our bhakti. One is Atyahara prayasasya prajalpa. So gathering more and more material things. If one sack of grains fall on the ground from a truck or something, the birds will come and take whatever is required and go. What if a man is going there in a bicycle or a car and they see a sack of rice? Nobody's around you. Then what will they do?
He'll take the whole sack and go, Mataji.
He'll take the whole sack. He won't just take what is required for him. He'll take the whole thing. This is called Atyahara. But the birds, they flew and came, and whatever is in their beak, they just take it and then go. So this is called gathering more and more material things, unnecessary activity. Okay, it is said grihasthas are allowed to store. Like we have had a pandemic and we had a lockdown, and we all know there was like no groceries available, and so many houses had problems. But some of them, they already had some storage and all that, and that helped them to survive. So it is said, a brahmachari, grihastha, and sannyasi, they are mendicant. They can go door to door and beg for alms like Madhukari, or they'll be supplied by some other grihasthas. But grihasthas, they can collect, but not unnecessarily collecting. What happens? Our mind will completely get absorbed in that we forget our main goal of human form of life, which is devotional service. So that will not give us peace of mind also. So one should be satisfied with what is obtained by Lord's grace. Whatever Krishna gives, be happy with that. Not like whatever, according to your punya karma, definitely things will come. It is said, the source of income is not the source of your maintenance. Means you will be earning so much money every month, but that is not actually maintaining you. Maintenance is coming from the Supreme Lord. Eko bahunam yovidadadikaman. He is the one who's actually supplying us. Even that salary is coming through that boss. He only arranged for it, Krishna. So everything is happening by Krishna's will. So it is said we should be satisfied with whatever the Lord gives. I think this is one of the great quality which we should develop, so that we can be really peaceful and happy. Because if we want more and more and more, then we'll never be peaceful. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Ativa Shanta Bhukti Bhukti Siddhikami Sakalaya Shanta. Krishna Bhakta is very happy and he's peaceful because he's not asking anything from the Lord. He just wants to do devotional service. And voluntarily accepting hardships and suffering. What is that called as? Voluntarily accepting suffering for a higher purpose. Even Ekadashi fasting, rising early in Brahma Muhurta, taking a bath.
Austerity, Mataji. Tapasya.
Tapasya, yes, very good. So that is tapasya, tapo divyam. That tapasya is possible only in human form. Can we say a cat and a dog to wake up at Brahma Muhurta, take a bath and do austerity? Can we tell them to fast on Ekadashi and Janmashtami and all those tithis? No. Only in human form of life is it possible. Manusha Janma Paya, Radha Krishna Nabajiya, Janiya Shunya, Vishakhai. So we got a human form of life and we should voluntarily accept hardships. See, it's not like, see, now it's going to be winter. It's very nice to sleep at Brahma Muhurta. No? All of you agree? It's very nice. You can be having a nice blanket and you can sleep off. But why are you waking up? Why are you sacrificing your sleep and waking up and taking a bath and attending Mangalarati, chanting your rounds? Why are you doing? That's because of austerity or tapasya. You have a higher goal, a higher purpose, right? To reach to Krishna. So that's why we are voluntarily accepting. And Rishabhadev says, Tapo divyam putraka ayena satyam. So we have to do tapasya in human form. Otherwise, we cannot reach the goal. Okay, and give 50% of income to Krishna consciousness. That is, again, if it's not practically possible, but still Rupa Goswami have done that. But it said whatever we have, little bit, we can give for Krishna conscious activities. And fame, a man is famous when he's known as a great devotee. This Alfred Ford, his Ambarish Prabhu, right? So his grandfather, Henry Ford, So Prabhupada once, so that time Alfred Ford Prabhu was, Ambarish Prabhu was very small, and Prabhupada met him, and Prabhupada asked, "Where is your grandfather, Henry Ford?" So Ambarish Prabhu just thought for a while and said, "He died." Then Prabhupada said, "See, so death can come to anybody. You might be the billionaire or a millionaire, but death can take take Mrityu Sarvaharasya." And then Prabhupada spoke to him and said, after some time, "You should not be famous as a businessman. You're already famous, but you should become famous as a devotee." And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Ramananda I also said, "Who's the most famous? The person who's a devotee of the Lord is the most famous." That is the real fame. Not like, "Oh, I'm a big businessman, I'm a big doctor," that famous for the material body. But to become famous as Krishna's devotee, that is the most great fame. Why? Because that's eternal. Okay. So this is what this sloka says. And Prabhupada have written very nice purports for these. Please read them. Big purport. 6th sloka says, Maharshaya Saptapurvej Chatvaro Manavastata Adbhava Manasa Jata Yesham Loka Imam Prachaha. The 7 great sages, and before them the 4 other great sages, and the Manus, progenitor of mankind, came from Krishna, born from his mind, and all the living beings populating the various planets descend from them. So, Brahma. Hiranyagarbha refers to Brahma also, that who is original creator. So, how is Lord Brahma born? Brahma.
From the navel of
Yes, navel of?
From the navel of Vishnu.
Garbhadaksha Vishnu. Okay, navel of Garbhadaksha. So Garbhadaksha Vishnu lying on the Kaushal ocean, Garbhadaksha ocean, and from his navel a lotus come, and on top of the lotus it was Brahma. And after he was born, what happened?
He has learned 2 words, tapa matras. Then he started meditating.
Yes.
And
So what happened when Brahma was born? There's nobody else. Brahma's like, "No, where did I come?" And then Brahma went down, 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 searching into the Garbhadaksha ocean. He could not see anybody. And because he's the first creation of the Lord. So nobody was there around him. And he sat on the lotus flower and he's thinking what to do, what to do. And he heard a voice, Tapa, Tapa, do tapasya. This is from Srimad Bhagavatam, 1st canto. He heard Tapa. It's like, Tapa? Oh, tapasya. Should I do tapasya? And Brahma started doing tapasya. Even Brahma had to do tapasya to see the Lord. And then the Lord appeared. The Lord initially gave a voice to Brahma, then appeared from his heart. He told him that, "Brahma, you are the first creator. Now I give you the," Krishna gave him the power to do creation. So he became the secondary creator. So Lord Brahma was originally born from the Lord. And Brahma did the secondary creation. But Brahma cannot do secondary creation alone. The power was given by the Lord. The Pratichas, the 25 sages, the 4 great sages, the 4 Kumaras, and 7 great sages, that is Kashyapa, Atri, Vashishta, Vishwamitra, Gautama, Jamadagni, Bharadwaja, all of them are born from the Lord. The 12 Manus, present is the Vaivashvata Manu, and Krishna is Prapitamaha. He is the father of the grandfather. Brahma is the Pitamaha for us, grandfather, the father, and the great grandfather, the father of the grandfather is Krishna. Because Krishna is the creator of Brahma. Okay, so in that way, Krishna becomes Prapitamaha. Etam vibhutim yogam cha mama yoveti tattvataha. So avikalpena yogena yujyate natra samshayaha. One who is factually convinced of this opulence and mystic power of mind, engage in unalloyed devotional service of this, there is no doubt. So if somebody knows that Krishna is really powerful and Krishna is the origin, then there's nothing to explain more, no? He can completely surrender. He can, what he can do devotional service to Krishna. There's no doubt in it, no? Because Krishna himself says he's the source of all the demigods. So why should he go through the demigods? See, you know the boss of the company and you need a job in that company. The boss was your friend, old friend. So you can directly go to the boss and speak. Why should you go to his PA or the supervisors or somebody else? You don't have to, you can directly go to the boss because you know that person. Similarly, you know Krishna, you know that he is the supreme personality, Godhead, he is the source of all the demigods and everything. Why do you go through the agents, the demigods? So we have to understand Krishna's opulences. Prabhupada says, we know God is great, but we don't know how great he is. That's why Krishna himself have come. Then somebody asked me, isn't Krishna self-boasting himself like, I'm that, I'm this? So many times he used aham, 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 ma. Like me, Krishna is telling that aham adir devana, aham bija pradapita, or aham sarvasya prabhu, matta sarvam pravartate, or matta paradanamna. See, Krishna is going on saying that aham, me. So isn't that self-boasting? Like, what do you reply to that person who's saying that Krishna is glorifying about himself in Bhagavad Gita? Yes?
It is coming from the supreme authority, Mataji. So,
Yes.
I mean, we have to accept it.
Yes. See, we are so unintelligent people, less intelligent and so foolish people that Krishna himself had to come and tell us that yes, he is the Supreme Personality of God. So this is out of Krishna's pure compassion. And as Mataji said, he's the Supreme Lord. He himself is coming and saying, and still we are so foolish that we are not able to believe his words. Or we are still thinking that why, once one person, I was so upset after hearing that Mataji was in Krishna consciousness for some time, doing service and everything. And then she's told, Krishna is a politician. I felt so bad. I could not talk anything. I could not say anything to her. And I just kept the call and felt so bad inside. Like, why is people having such a bad misunderstanding about Krishna? He himself have come out of his costless mercy. Krishna didn't have to do all these things, but he is coming to tell us, to make us understand that he is the Supreme Lord. We have to surrender to him. Still, we have so many mental concoction and bad ideas about the Lord. So this is how the Lord is so much misunderstood. It is very, very, a pathetic situation. Or it's mainly because they are in ignorance. They don't, if you just trust Srila Prabhupada and understand Bhagavad Gita through Srila Prabhupada, the Acharya, it's very easy to understand Krishna. Prabhupada says that you have to rub everything what you know from your childhood. From your childhood, you heard so many things. Even we heard Krishna is just one of the avatar of Lord Vishnu out of the Dashavatar. So many stupid things we have in our mind. So Prabhupada says, wash all that and then come to Krishna consciousness and grab all this. So Prabhupada says he was successful in preaching International Society of Krishna Consciousness or preaching Krishna consciousness in the West. Why? Because they never had any pre-defined ideas before coming to Krishna consciousness. They were hearing the word Krishna for the first time when they heard from Prabhupada. So Prabhupada's like, they are very clean. So it was very easy to plant the seed of Krishna consciousness in them. But when it comes to India, because we are in Sanatana Dharma, from childhood, we have so many things in our mind and heard and experienced and lived through so many things, that so many things are already here, so many garbage. But so again, planting the seed of Krishna consciousness is a little difficult. You need to really plow the field and take away all the weeds, and then only otherwise still that doubt comes. Is Krishna the Supreme? Not still that doubt comes. So what to do? So what we can do is we can go with the Acharya's words and understand Krishna himself is speaking in Bhagavad Gita. No, it's not Prabhupada is manipulating things. He is like a postman. He is delivering the message as it is. But here Krishna himself says, come and says that he is the source of the demigods. He is the Supreme. Why? Because Krishna is making us understand the fact that we should surrender only to him. We don't have to go through any other agents. So unless one is firmly convinced of the different opulences of the Supreme Lord, we cannot engage in devotional service. Generally, people know God is great, but they do not know how great God is. Here are the details. That's why we have the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam about the opulences of the Lord, about creation and Krishna's different avatars. And in the 10th canto only, Krishna's pastime is given. So because first 9 cantos, you should know how God is great. Then only you can enter into his private pastime. Otherwise, we will misunderstand him. So it says, if one knows factually how God is great, then naturally he becomes a surrendered soul and engage himself in devotional service of the Lord. When one factually knows the opulence of the Supreme, there is no alternative but to surrender to him. All this particular knowledge is required in order to increase one's interest in the loving devotional service of the Lord. One should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is. For by knowing greatness of Krishna, and will be able to be fixed in sincere devotional service. Okay. So we'll have this question as breakout room. Explain the importance of knowing Krishna's opulence. You can refer to 10.7 verse. 10.7. So 10.8, 9, 10, 11. These are the Chatusloki. I want to take the Chatusloki in a separate class. So here we'll have a breakout room. This is your question. Not open book. This is now. It's for a breakout room. I don't think I have one. Okay, I'll start. Yeah, I'll go for this. So this is a breakout room question. Okay, explain the importance of knowing Krishna's opulence. Why should we know Krishna's opulence? And what is the importance of knowing it? So you can go through 10.7 verse and purport in your response. And after the breakout room, Mataji will post that. Okay, so go through 10.7. This explain the importance of knowing Krishna's opulence. You can give either practical, preaching application or personal application. Why should you know about the opulence of Krishna? And why should public, others also know, like when you preach the opulence of Krishna? Okay. Request all of you to join the breakout room. There are some devotees who are not joining. Those who are not joining will not get the attendance. Okay. If you have any difficulty in joining, please let me know in the chat. Yes, Balaji Prabhu, Jyoti Mataji, please go to the breakout room. Mausami Mataji, Naveen Prabhu, Vijay Bhagavad Prabhu. You have any problem? You're not able to go? Naveen Prabhu, please go to room number 2. Vijay Prabhu, room number 2. Balaji Prabhu, room number 3. Mausami Mataji, room number 3. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, please fill your attendance forms. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Hare Krishna, all are back.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So all of you please fill the attendance form. And then who is speaking from room number 1 or 2 or 3?
Ravani Mataji.
Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam Mataji. So we have discussed a couple of points. Why should we know the Krishna's opulences in detail? What is the importance of this? So we discussed that. So we should know full in detail about Krishna's opulences only. Then only we can surrender to the Krishna. Without knowing the opulences of the Supreme Lord, so we should not surrender and we cannot engage ourselves in devotional service of the Lord. So when we know in detail about these opulences, then there is no alternative and we will definitely surrender to Him and we can do devotional service very easily. And so many people will tell like so we are great like that. Then we can ask them, so can you lift the Govardhana like Krishna and like Krishna lifted Govardhana, right? So can you lift Govardhana hill on your little finger, so that we can ask. So means by knowing the Krishna's strength and all these opulences only we can ask these things. And even Shiva also means since he swallowed hala, so we came to know his greatness and all. So our faith will increase by knowing these opulences and all. When we deviate also, so when we deviate from this path also, when we again recollect these opulences and all, right, then we can come back and we can do our devotional service very faithful towards the Lord. So suppose when we enter into the temple also, because of Krishna's presence, we feel that means we will feel the presence of the Lord, and we will get so much peace and bliss, bliss. So we start attributing everything, and means we will get auspiciousness and everything coming into our life when we know all these things, when we know these opulences of the Lord Mataji. So that's what we have discussed. So again, we should not neglect to understand fully how great Krishna is, because by knowing the greatness of Krishna, we can able to fix in our sincere devotional service, Mataji. So we should have great faith and without any doubt, so we can engage in devotional service. That's what we have discussed, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, Mother.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mataji.
from room number 2. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yeah.
Yes.
Mataji, here, while studying the purport 10.7, we have jotted down around 5 points. Here, what we are understand is by knowing the Krishna's opulence, one will be firmly convinced that he is the source of all sources. That is point number 1. And while accepting the Krishna with supreme, great faith, and without having any sort of doubt, then we would be taking his shelter. And there will not be any other option for us, because after knowing him as Krishna, he is the forefather of all the forefathers, and he is the supreme God of all the demigods. And point number 3, by knowing all these opulences, one will become fixed up, and they will become sincere in their devotional service, Mataji. And that also increases one's loving devotional service. That attachment towards Krishna will become more. Generally, what happens? We get attracted to the film stars. How do we get attracted? Unless we know more about his acting or some good things, what he has done behind the screen, then people gets attracted. So likewise, while knowing about the Supreme, his great things, his pastimes, and his opulences, so we gets attracted to that. And this particular knowledge, from where we will get this particular knowledge? So there are two, scriptures are there for us. That is, one is Srimad Bhagavatam and one is Bhagavad Gita. Likewise, there are many other scriptures, but when we read these two scriptures, the real information will come from these scriptures, and apart from surrendering him, we will not be any other alternative, Mataji. This is mentioned. So the bottom line conclusion is mentioned. By knowing all this, one should never neglect to understand how great the Krishna is, Mataji. This is mentioned. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, row number 3. Request the devotee who speaks, please on the video. Yes, who's speaking from number 3? Hare Krishna. Yes, Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Mataji, we've jotted down 5 points, and the first point is like we are all in ignorance and we don't know anything about the Lord, and we don't know how great the Lord is. But when we hear about the opulences of the Lord, we get to know more about the Lord and how great he is. And the second point mentioned is like when we listen to the opulences of the Lord, we get purified. And third point is like when we listen to the opulences of the Lord, we surrender to the Lord and we engage in devotional service. Our devotional service increases. A fourth point is we should not directly jump to the Rasa Leela. First, we should try to understand the opulence of the Lord, and then we can go to the Rasa Leela. As Prabhupada says, that we should first go through all the 9 cantos, and then we should read the 10th canto. And the fifth point is like by knowing the opulences, we know that everything, like all the demigods, all of us, and all the material resources, everything arises from Krishna, and he's the cause of all causes. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, anybody else like to add any points? Why we should know the opulence of the Lord? Okay, very nice. Okay. So I think we are convinced. Yes, Konraj Prabhu.
Yeah, Mataji, what I heard is we must know the Sampada Jnana, then only Abhideya, then Prayojana.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, very good. So, as Prabhu said, the Sambandha, that is our relationship with Krishna, that should be known first. That's why we have to know the opulence. Because only after we know the Sambandha, then that Abhideya, that process or devotion service can be done. And as Prabhu said, the Prayojana, the goal of Krishna Prema can be achieved. Very nice. Yes. So that is one reason, again, another reason why we should know the opulence of Krishna. Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you. So we can stop here. Next class, we'll start from the Chatusloki of Bhagavad Gita. That is 10.8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. And after hearing Chatusloki, we'll see how Krishna, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, saying Parabrahma Param Dhamma Pavitram Parama Mama. So after that, he is again realizing Krishna's position. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.